Hi everyone, good morning. We're going to start in 5 minutes, just allowing more participants to join until then, so please bear with us. Hi all, good morning. We're just waiting for participants to join, so we're going to start in a couple of minutes from now, so please bear with us. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Hopefully, you can all hear me, see me. So, as participants, you will not have access to speaking or coming on camera today. But what you can do is to use the chat function for any questions or comments that you may have. If there are any issues, please do type on the chat if you can't hear us. But otherwise, obviously, we are all reliant on tech here. So if there are any glitches, please bear with us. But I think we should be fine otherwise. So without further ado, I would like to kick off. So firstly, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining in bright and early on a Sunday morning, which I'm pretty sure is not an ideal start for a Sunday, but really appreciate all the enthusiasm to see so many young people on the call today. A very warm welcome to all of you on this remarkable occasion of National Youth Day 2025, brought to you by the Leading Youth. I am your host for today, Koisha Mukherjee, the proud founder of the Leading Youth. It is an absolute honor to see so many passionate and bright minds gathered here, united by the common goal of shaping a brighter future for our nation, India. National Youth Day, observed on the 12th of January every year, marks the birth anniversary of one of India's greatest visionary young leader, Swami Vivekananda. He believed that the youth are the cornerstone of societal progress and that their energy and idealism can transform the nation. His teachings continue to inspire millions to embrace values of courage, resilience, and leadership. Today, we pay tribute to his legacy by fostering dialogue, learning, and action among the leaders of tomorrow. We are here to celebrate the indomitable spirit of India's youth, your dreams, your drive, and your determination to lead the nation towards progress. Through this event, we aim to bring you stories of trailblazers, change makers, and thought leaders who are redefining leadership, innovation, and social impact. So let's dive right in and begin this incredible journey together on National Youth Day. A bit of an introduction to the Leading Youth for those who may not be aware. At the Leading Youth, our mission is to nurture young people with leadership skills, providing them with platforms to explore their potential and inspire them to become impactful leaders. This event is a step towards that vision. It's the first time that we are organizing this event on a national scale, which is why all the more grateful for all of your participation here today. Through engaging discussions like these, inspiring stories, and actionable insights, we aim to ignite the spark within each of you to take charge of your own journey and contribute to a better future. Founded with the vision of empowering youth through leadership, mentorship, and skills building, the Leading Youth is about creating platforms that enable young people to turn their dreams into reality. Together, we have impacted thousands of lives, and today is another milestone in that journey. With that, we will kick off with our first session for today, our fireside chat, Decoding the Leading Youth. We have lined up a great session of speakers. We have a couple of panel events, and we aim to wrap up in a couple of hours from now. So hope you're going to stick through till the end. We also have winners to announce for our national competition. So those who have participated and sent in your posts and videos, thank you so much. Please stay tuned till the end to find out the winner, because we have got some exciting cash prizes for them. So without further ado, then we're going to kick off with our fireside chat. And on this very exciting day, kicking off with this special session, Decoding the Leading Youth, where I will be in conversation with the dynamic young entrepreneur, Prateek Toshniwal, who has joined me on camera here right now. So Prateek is a CA by profession, partner at MICS, co-founder at Ivy Growth, an author and traveler, and a very dear friend of mine. So this fireside chat will take you behind the scenes of the Leading Youth, its inception, its mission, and its journey from an idea to a movement that empowers youth globally. We'll also discuss what's next in store for us as we continue to inspire change makers worldwide. So, all your questions about what the Leading Youth does, who is Koisha, why has she founded Leading Youth, what's going on, what's the vision, please stay tuned for the next 15 to 20 minutes while we decode the Leading Youth. So, over to you, Prateek.
Thank you so much, Koisha, for the introduction. And it's always good to know the founder behind, the motive and the mission that is going on. It's easy to create a platform, but very difficult to decode the founder. So I'm lucky today to get this opportunity to decode Koisha and the Leading Youth. First of all, everyone, a very happy National Youth Day. And it's a mission and motive that we all learn and grow through this journey. And Koisha, thank you so much for organizing this. So without further ado, I would love to kick in and dive in the journey of the founder, who's probably, from a city, Jamshedpur, to London, and then, growing this entire platform. Would you want to talk about how your youth was, what motivated you, and how you grew through this journey?
Sure, it's a bit of a retrospective, start to the session, but I think much needed for everyone who is tuning in to understand how and where I got my motivation from. So, like you said, I have grown up in a very small town in Jamshedpur, born and brought up there, and completed my schooling there. And I was a very different person back then. I have always been an introvert, the very shy person, the first bencher, the studious person, always ranking first in class. So very serious and all of that. But I never raised my hand in class for any question that the teacher asked. Even if I knew the answer, I was that person who would hesitate, who wouldn't take an initiative, who would be shy and conscious about what other people are thinking. Would I be judged and all of that? So I had my own share of underconfidence and also maybe just not realizing my own potential. And then eventually, when I think I started participating in a lot of extracurricular activities where I was required to take initiative, where I was required to go up on the stage and speak. And also credits to my own school principal there, who was quite a visionary leader herself, and she initiated public speaking skills in our school times, where we were required to go up in front of the principal and speak on random topics. So I think that credit I owe to my school, Carmel Junior College in Jamshedpur. But even then, I don't think I had realized my potential as such. So it was only when I, tried to come out of my cocoon and give myself a chance in terms of, participating in those extracurriculars, moving on to college, and then eventually, pursuing my master's in the UK. And when I was actually by myself, independent and without any cushion support of my parents or someone to, guide the way, that is actually when I started to realize that, oh, I could actually do this and I could be that. And, I could also be good at it and be confident about it. So confidence is a journey. It's sometimes also about faking it till you make it. And this is something that I only realized eventually in my journey, that it's not something that comes served on a silver platter. It's a learned skill. And I think my own journey has taught me that in many ways. But the motivation definitely came from my own journey itself when I realized the transformation that it brought in me, from being an introvert to being a global youth leader and a speaker on stages now where I'm addressing, thousands of students. And I can't imagine the shy Koisha inside me now thinking about not raising her hand in the classroom. So it's my personal transformation that motivated me in a lot of ways to come up with the Leading Youth, and hopefully encouraging, empowering, and upskilling the youth of today to realize the potential that maybe I hadn't realized 10 to 15 years back, and hopefully guiding them to be more confident and empowered in their own journey from a young age.
Excellent. That's quite a transformation, because I remember a lot of people become, extrovert only after a certain age, or they realize when they are out of their comfort zone. So amazing to know what your youth was and what transformed you. But a very, very, important question lies in, I remember, or I know that You worked with the UK government and served there for 6 years, right? You were very, I would say, at a very comfortable job, enjoying that journey, working with the UK government, being an only Indian to work with them. How does it feel? And then what suddenly changed or inspired you to start, your entrepreneurship journey with the Leading Youth?
Yeah, I definitely took a plunge. I felt brave and courageous to leave behind a 6 year stable government job to come up with something that's risky and uncertain in the startup and entrepreneurship side of things. But to be very honest, I think, again, going back to my childhood, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. So if anyone asked me 15 years back as well, what do you want to do when you grow up? Of course, I loved economics and I knew that I want to pursue that as a career. But what I also knew and was confident about that I wanted to have something of my own. I, of course, didn't have the idea back then. The idea only happened to me very recently. And that's when I thought it's worth the plunge because um, I observed a lot of gaps in the market. I realized that, as Gen Z or as millennials, it's so easy to, stray off from your paths and we're constantly in confusion about our careers, choices, courses, what do we do, what not to do. And I think there has to be a platform that unites all the young people around the world, gives them better clarity about their own potential, about their career goals, and what is it that they can do in life. Similar to what I just mentioned a few minutes back, and realizing really your own potential that you carry in your life. So, when I was actually pursuing also a leadership and management course while pursuing my job in London, that's when I also realized that all of the sort of executive leadership courses that exist in the market are only talking about, or they are designed for people who have 10 to 15 years of work experience leading teams of 10 to 20 people. But I wanted a course that teaches me how do I start as a first time manager, how can I learn how to be a good manager, how to be a good leader. And by the way, obviously, leadership and management are two different concepts. That's something that a lot of people are not aware of. So, how do we drill into the basics and make people understand, how these things work? So that's exactly where the idea came from, and I decided to go ahead with designing a course that is relevant to the youth of today, and then obviously giving them that global exposure that transformed me in many ways as well to understand how that can shape personality. So that's how Leading Youth was born. Taking the plunge now, it's been a few months, and fingers crossed, hoping that it will go ahead as per the plan.
Of course, I have been reading a lot and following Leading Youth since a while now. So good to know the actual reason why it started. And absolutely, there's a gap in the market which you're trying to fulfill. But I always believe, entrepreneurship is not easy. It comes with its own challenges, it comes with its own risks. I would, a lot of people talk about success, right? Or a lot of people talk about successful stories and what they've built. No one talks about what goes behind them. What are the challenges that a youth faces? Because, we are talking about the youth, empowering them, talking about leadership. I agree, leadership and management are two different topics. What's your message for these young entrepreneurs who face challenges every day while building something? And I would want to know what Leading Youth went through when they were building up and the challenges you would have faced.
Very honestly, all the game starts here in the mind. If you can control your mind, the outer world is very easy to control. So, as long as you know how to control your own thinking, and we all have a monkey mind, and I think training your mind, building that discipline is something that I think I can confidently say I've been a very disciplined person since childhood. So that's not somewhere I had to work a lot because, and also life and the way things have shaped up with my own journey, I've learned the art of resilience, which I think is very relevant and important for young people, especially young entrepreneurs trying to build something of their own. Undoubtedly and inevitably, there will always be challenges, but to be able to resolve them and continue on your path, I think discipline and resilience are the two most important skills to have. And it's all a mind game at the end of the day. Even if things are going, haywire around you, if you can keep telling yourself all is well, and I'm going to find a way, I'm going to take it one step at a time, you will find a way. And that's exactly what worked for me. Of course, it wasn't easy taking a decision to leave a job behind and start something where I can't see the future of. But what I started with was a vision with hope, optimism, and obviously planning and practicality that things are going to shape up and work the way I'm thinking, at least, and we want to make it work. So that's how we started, and that's what we're trying to do with the Leading Youth, taking it one step at a time and reaching out to one young person at a time. That's the ultimate vision, and that's my message as well for all the young people, that start with training your mind, and everything else is an outer game. So it starts with the inner core, and then the outer world just follows.
Excellent. Thank you for decoding that and talking about the challenges. And like you said, it's about the mind games. Everything starts from here. And an idea, if not executed, has no value, right? So I'm glad that you're executing it. For me, I've always believed that execution is above ideation. So for me, 80% is execution, 20% is ideation. And I'm glad you're executing this journey, and wishing you all the best. Moving ahead, very important crux. What are the mission, vision, and of the Leading Youth, and what are the courses that a youth can join in and learn from the Leading Youth? It's very important because at the end of the day, I understand that there's a platform, but what ultimately is there in store for the youth is very important. And if you can decode that for that.
Sure. So, as you said, very important question for people to understand what the Leading Youth has been up to or will be up to in this new year. Firstly, the Leading Youth, like I mentioned in my introduction as well, it is a platform for all young people around the globe. And by that, what I mean is it's a platform to be catered to help all youth to not just feel empowered and upskilled, but also to know that we are all in the same boat, and to make each other relatable, and to also get inspired by real life stories of young people who are doing things successfully, one of which we are trying to do here today by organizing this event. So I think the main services that we are offering right now is the training course, like we mentioned. So why is leadership skills important? It's not that you're trying to train everyone to become the CEO of a company or the president of a country. That's not the ultimate objective, but of course great if you have that aspiration. But the fact that you can also be a leader in any career or field that you choose to pursue, you are setting an example in your own way and inspiring a lot of young people through the choices that you're making. So for you to be able to feel confident and empowered is how we are trying to train you in terms of basic soft skills that are maybe not part of our education curriculum these days. So we are trying to bridge the gap between classroom learning versus real life skills. So we have 10 essential soft skills in things like communication, influencing, negotiation, critical thinking. All of that goes into the making of a young leader. And then what we are also doing is international education trips. So we're trying to, take students and give them the global exposure to, international cities like Singapore, London, etc., where they spend about a week's time, get to interact with local, top colleges, startup mentors, student mentors, and then take away those ideas and come and build something of their own in India or wherever they wish to. So that's the objective, giving them a blend of global exposure, upskilling them through soft skills, as well as guiding them, mentoring them, so that we can all serve as a support system for each other and take them ahead on this journey of becoming a young leader.
Excellent. So one thing is, I would love to join the platform, and how can we do that? It's very important. That's the question I have in mind. How do we do that?
So the best way to join is we've also recently launched our WhatsApp community, where you will be getting all live updates of the courses, the sessions, events that we are doing. So that's one way. The other way is, of course, we have a website, we have our social media pages, Instagram, LinkedIn, follow us there so you can stay updated about everything that's ongoing on the Leading Youth. And of course, we have our contact information that I'll drop on the chat in terms of our email ID and stuff. So in case you have any questions or want to find out more about our courses or our upcoming international trips, then that's the way you can reach out to us, join in for our first few training sessions launching very soon. And they're all virtual, by the way, the training sessions. We have it in two formats, a one-day webinar, as well as a 4 weeks intensive course. So you have the option to join in, drop us a message, and always happy to chat.
Thank you, Koisha. Talking from the word that you left probably in few minutes back, global. We all have seen you traveling the globe, and I've seen a lot of activities recently in India. What's the vision of Leading Youth? Is it an Indian platform, or you want to make it as a global platform? And what are the next, like you talked about an international tour. So what are the next few activities that are lined up so that, if anyone wants to join, they can?
Yes, so the Leading Youth is very much a global platform. It's a company that, like I said, I see it going global because youth are everywhere. They're not restricted to a certain country or location. Of course, for today, National Youth Day is celebrated in India, so we are keeping this India specific in terms of the event today. But the audience is very much global. We are for the youth in any country and any nationality, and which is where I'm bringing in, these global educational trips as well, because I want people to get that global exposure, to understand and, bring those ideas, interact with, young people from other countries. And that's also part of skill building, right? You get to practically implement all of the leadership skills that you learn in theory and test yourself in terms of networking, communication, different languages, understanding culture. So there's a lot that goes into that global exposure, which is why we are coming up with our first global trip to Singapore in a couple of months' time, where we want to take a group of students from India to go to Singapore, visit some of the top colleges, interact with startup mentors, take away some of our leadership skills. Of course, you get to do your touristy fun elements as well while at Singapore. But it's a complete package of making you future ready. If you haven't thought about studying abroad, working abroad, that's totally fine. We're not pushing you towards that. All we're trying to do is to give you that exposure so that you can make better and more informed decisions as to what is relevant and right for you. So that's the objective with which we are planning these trips. So if you're interested, if you want to sign up, please drop us a message. We'll share our contact details on the group chat and you can reach out to us.
Excellent. So, as it is a global platform and, a lot of digital platforms are rising, there are so many global networking events that keep happening. We would love to know what is that one element which is differentiating you with the other platforms, and what's the overall vision, what is the impact that you're dropping for these youth and entrepreneurs to come ahead.
So the ultimate vision with doing all of these courses, trips, etc., is for people to be better informed in the career choices that they try to make, connect with like-minded fellow young enthusiasts from different careers and professions, so that they find a relatable hand to guide them through the confusion that we face as young people. Because I think what happens as young people when we interact, of course, nothing against people who do not qualify in the age bracket of young, but it's generally that it's just a different generation, and there's a gap in understanding the problems and situations that we face as young people today, which is why there is this need to have a platform where it's more relatable and we can connect and learn from each other, grow from each other's lessons, get inspired by each other's story. So which is why we are creating a community of these global young leaders from around the world where everyone can learn and grow together. That's the ultimate objective. And of course, the confidence, the empowerment, the upskilling is part of the process through the courses, through the trips, and through many other things that we will be eventually launching. But I think having that platform is almost like having a home where you can, go and find a friend who can guide you through the intricacies and complicacies of life, and hopefully help you attain your goals with better confidence and with more hope and optimism for the future.
Excellent. So taking it to the futuristic vision, we would love to know where do you see leading youth going in the next half a decade or a decade, and what are the key milestones you wish to achieve being a global platform?
Great question. So milestones, there are quite a few right now, given that we're a fairly new platform and there's so much to do, so many goals to achieve. The main thing, obviously, is to be able to reach out to as many young people as possible around the globe and to stick to its global identity and to truly make this a global platform. So I think that's definitely first in the step, to be able to reach out to as many countries, locations, and cater to as many young people as possible. I mean, of course, this is a social entrepreneurship venture, so there is a social objective to it. We are trying to, help guide young people. So the more people we can reach out to, the better. So this is just a shout out to please spread the word about the Leading Youth, and follow us. And if you don't already, and spread the word with all your friends and batchmates if you're studying, or young professionals, colleagues, anyone who is within the age group of 15 to 35, by the way, qualifies as a young person as per the definition of UN. So yeah, I mean, the goal is definitely to reach out to a lot of young people, scale our courses, and reach out to not just students in schools and colleges, but also young professionals and corporates who are transitioning for the first time from careers into jobs or building something of their own, making sure that they have all the tools and support that they need to be able to be successful in their career paths. That's the vision. And of course, the international trips. I mean, as many locations as we can cover. We want to conquer the world. That's the dream.
So if I correctly understood, the first step for any youth who's probably 15, 16, 17 is to grow from the ideas and entrepreneurship journey, learn the soft skills, right? But probably for later on, the 18 to 22 age gap, probably it's finding jobs, being a good negotiator, learning that. And then it is about where do you want to do your courses from. And for corporates, it is always important because, I always have this quote in my mind: salary is a drug that they pay you not to chase your vision, right? So I'm glad that, people who are in entrepreneurship take that risk. They leave everything behind and they are ready for the battle. But at the same time, it is important to understand from you, because like you said, you were an introvert, right? What transformed in you from an introvert to a person now who's so self-confident that the entire platform that you've built is digital, plus you do physical events. Even the event today is live on YouTube, right? So probably a lot of people are viewing it. So what is that edge that you learned, or probably how did that self-confidence come in? Because a lot of youth do not have that, right? So what's your piece of advice for these young entrepreneurs who are coming so that they can grow and get that self-confidence in?
Main piece of advice, like I started with as well today, is the whole mind game. You are going to see what you envision in your mind. So if you believe that you can't make it, you will not be able to make it. It is as simple as that. But also, alternatively, if you can make it up in your mind that I am going to be able to, achieve what I've set my mind to, you are going to be able to do it. So of course, there is a role of being optimistic, manifesting whatever different versions or labels you want to use for this process. What worked for me is obviously, training my mind to not just think optimistically, but also, I think, taking the action to manifesting whatever your goal is also really important. I think a lot of times we just kind of let things go and think that, okay, we've done our part, we are wishing, and we're sitting quite tight and things will work out, but it doesn't work out just by itself. Everything's not magic, or maybe everyone's not as lucky. So hard work and taking action is equally important. So when I say what I mean by action is obviously to work towards your goals and find a way of doing what you need to be able to get to your goals. That's equally important. So understanding as young people, having that clarity in your goals. Why is it that you're doing what you're doing? Is that something that makes you happy? Is that something you are good at? And when you have an answer to each of these questions, it ticks all the boxes, and you're really passionate, and you're sure that that passion will sustain throughout the project or whatever you have set your mind to, despite the challenges. And that's where obviously your resilience and discipline and all of those skills also come into play. And then, of course, there are all the soft skills that you'll need to, feel confident along that journey, which is where we are here to guide you through the process. But yeah, essentially, I think what helped me was to believe in my own self eventually, which I did not when I started with. So that's not something I was aware of. But when I realized that it's all a mind game, and I just need to, tell myself that I can be the best version and I can be the best at what I'm doing, that's what created the magic, and that's what led to where we are today.
Excellent. So, just a couple of more questions before we go to the amazing panel that is lined up. Leadership to me has always meant adaptability and coachability, right? If you're not adaptable, you're not coachable, generally you tend to, get diverse. What is your mantra, or have you realized from your diverse roles or solo trips or peace with yourself that it is important, or what is that piece of advice, and how do you become adaptable and coachable?
Adaptability is also very much a skill. We could do a whole webinar on it. So please do sign up for our training sessions to find out on how to be adaptable. I won't give away the mantra just yet. But that's a pitch, that's a trailer to please sign up and find out how we can be more adaptable as young people. I know that our patience nowadays is very transient, and I think our attention spans, because thanks to social media, is also evaporating quite quickly. But of course, adaptability is the key, whether it's with all of the traveling that I've done across different countries, or when it comes to different life situations and challenges that we face. Career pivot, something that I'm doing currently as well. Adaptability is really the key. And what do we mean by adaptability? Obviously, essentially, is the fact that we want to be open to ideas, open to exploring new opportunities, and giving ourselves a chance, not keeping ourselves restricted to what we think is maybe good for us or what others tell us is good for us. I think trying out everything, good or bad, is the best way to take that first step. And once you take the first step, it's obviously easier to then understand how you go about and where you take the next step. But giving yourself that first chance is really important, and that's how you become adaptable. So again, coming back to the mind game, if you tell yourself in the first instance itself that you can't do it, you're not going to be probably even taking that first step. So allow yourself to experiment, explore the world, give yourself as many opportunities as you can, network with like-minded young people, allow yourself to go out there, open up, talk. And I think talking, having productive conversations also helps build up ideas. So these are things that were helpful for me. I think obviously getting that global exposure is what helped me in the UK to network with like-minded people, travel confidently. Solo traveling as a young female is never easy. But I've done it because, I would like to believe I'm organized, planned, and I made sure that things don't go haywire. Which also helps sometimes with confidence. But yeah, doing little things that, bring in that adventure and kick in life, and helping you understand things from a different perspective is how we can be more adaptable, and the rest will follow.
Excellent. Last, before we head out, finally, Kosha, what's your message for the youth who's planning to take risk every day, wanting to develop their own dream and chase their dreams? Because I always feel dreams is one thing, but you need to achieve them as well. So what's your message for them to take the risk and just keep going?
Take that first step, believe in yourself, and take that action as well. We cannot leave everything to being optimistic and hopeful. Like I said, I do believe in the quote, dream, believe, manifest. But what I would like to add to the quote is dream, believe, action, and manifest. I think action is where a lot of people lose track and fall out of the path. So I think it's very important to action whatever your dreams and goals are. And like Pratik mentioned as well earlier, executing your ideas is very important. We just can't sit on ideas. I think a lot of us have a lot of ideas, a lot of amazing ideas. But to be able to execute them is where the real game starts. I wouldn't call it a challenge. It's just if you're really passionate about it and if you really want to make it happen, you will find a way or make one. And that's what this journey of a young leader and young entrepreneur is about. So take that first step. Make sure that you're planned, organized. You know what you're doing. You have confidence in yourself, and do that mind building, mindset building, and training if you need to. We are here for the soft skills training. We are here to push you out globally, to get you out of your bubble so that you can go out there and build the confidence and have the faith in your own journey like I have. So hopefully this conversation is going to help you, feel inspired and take away some motivation to also think of new things that you may not have thought about before. This is the whole purpose of this event today. So yeah, that is what I would say to maybe motivate everyone on a Sunday morning.
Excellent. So it was a great session decoding you and the National Youth, and thank you so much for talking about it at length. I'm glad that we found out what the Leading Youth does, what's your vision, why did you take the bait and started this journey. So all the best, and thank you once again for giving me the opportunity to decode the Leading Youth.
Thank you so much, Pratik, for decoding the Leading Youth and interviewing me. I think this was a story that needed to be told for everyone who had many questions about the Leading Youth and what we are doing. So thank you so much for your time and for joining us bright and early on a Sunday morning. Please do stick around for the rest of the event as we kick off with our next event for today. So I think we are waiting for one of our panel members to join. I'm going to kick off with the introductions anyways, and that's going to give us some time for our other panelists to join. So our next session is about the trailblazers of tomorrow, inspiring stories from young celebrities. I know this is particularly the session that everyone has been very excited about. So we have with us today here some very young, bright minds from India. So to turn on the excitement meters, introducing our next event and first panel session of today, Trailblazers of Tomorrow, inspiring stories from our young celebrities. This session brings together three exceptional individuals who have made a mark in their respective fields. First up, we have Mihir Ahuja, a rising star in the entertainment industry whose journey from dreams to stardom is nothing short of inspiring. Mihir is one of India's most promising young talents in the entertainment industry. Known for his compelling performances in Netflix series like The Archies, he has captivated audiences with his versatility and charisma. Beyond acting, Mihir is a multifaceted artist, showcasing his love for dance and his passion for storytelling. His journey is a testament to the power of perseverance, creativity, and self-belief, inspiring youth to follow their dreams with determination. And I'm particularly proud to introduce Mihir, coming from Jamshedpur and from my own school. So thank you so much, Mihir, for joining us today.
Hi, Goisha. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Moving on to our next panel member, Vaishali Mehta. Vaishali is the founder of Joy Spoon and a dynamic entrepreneur who has carved a niche in the FMCG sector with Joy Spoon, India's first D2C brand for premium mouth fresheners and mukwas. With 2.5 years of experience in building a food brand from scratch, she brings innovation and passion to the table. A graduate in luxury brand management, Vaishali has honed her skills at renowned establishments like Tarun Tahiliani and a luxury clothing store in Ahmedabad. Her culinary journey is deeply rooted in her love for cooking and experimenting with unique recipes inspired by her mother and grandmother's traditional expertise. Vaishali's vision came to life when she partnered with her childhood friend and CA Yash Mehta to create Joy Spoon, a brand that redefines premium indulgence in the Indian market. Driven by creativity and a foodie's heart, she thrives on exploring uncharted culinary territories and bringing innovative flavors to life. Welcome, Vaishali.
Thank you, Kausha. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you. And moving to our next speaker, we have Arjun Vaidya, D2C leader and venture investor, who will be sharing his insights on building a global brand and navigating the entrepreneurial landscape. Arjun is a trailblazer in the D2C space and a driving force behind the Indian entrepreneurial ecosystem. As an investor, he empowers startups with strategic guidance and growth capital. Before this, he revolutionized the Ayurveda industry by founding Dr. Vaidya's, a modern Ayurvedic brand, which became a household name and India's first D2C brand in the space to be successfully acquired. With a passion for innovation and mentorship, Arjun inspires young entrepreneurs to embrace bold visions and make an impact. These young leaders will be sharing their journeys, challenges, and lessons learned today. So stay tuned for actionable tips and life-changing insights from these trailblazers. Welcome, Arjun.
Hi guys.
Super. So I think we can see and hear all the panelists, which means we can kick off with our first round of questions for everyone. So this question will be directed to each of our panelists. We have about a couple of minutes for each of you to answer so that we can give everyone a fair amount of time. We will be covering a range of questions related to career, the future of youth, skills, and the importance that the skills as well as youth leadership has been relevant in each of your career paths. So starting with the first question, what advice would you give to young people navigating unconventional career paths? Maybe we can start with Arjun.
Sure. Look, I think first, thank you so much for having me here on National Youth Day. I think it's really amazing initiative, and I'm glad that we're having this conversation. On the advice, honestly, I will say that I think as a young person, my father told me one important thing. He said, at this age, be a sponge and take in as much knowledge as you can. In the environment that we live in today, which is different from when I was graduating college 10 years ago or 12 years ago, there's so much knowledge available that's democratized as well. Using the power of the internet, if you use it correctly, you can get access to so much information. So that's one thing I would say. And the second thing I would say is, if you have an idea or you have something you want to do, the best way to start is to start. Because if you're contemplating, if you're philosophizing, if you're doing all of those things, you won't really be able to know the reality until you actually put your product and your idea out to customers. So I see a lot of young people who come up with ideas, but they spend years to figure out what to do with it. And I guess we have entrepreneurs on this conversation who are going to talk as well. But my advice is the best way to start is to start.
Absolutely spot on, and couldn't agree more. Some of which we were discussing in our previous session as well this morning, that actioning on those ideas is the key to everything. So moving on to our next panelist, Vaishali, would you like to answer the same question?
I think people should take risk at an early age because now is the time for young people to start something of their own and focus on what is important to you. Spend time with mentors or people like who can guide you and support you. I can say try new things to find out what you are good at or what you love doing, which will help you in the later age. And be confident and identify your strength because I came from a small town in Pali. When I first came out to study, I always felt how from the small town I would be able to navigate through standard of like city life. Gradually I identify a lot of things I was really good at, which ultimately boosted my confidence and which led to me where I am today. Yeah. So these things,
Absolutely.
I can this I can give this advice to young people who are like looking for their career path as of now.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. I think confidence is a journey itself in this path as young people. But moving on to you, Mihir, what are your thoughts on this?
Hi, Goisha. I think I really like how today's generation, they are just go-getters. They just like doing more than one thing, be it in digital media, be it social media. Everyone's just active out there, and they just like I was judging this college competition last week, my college. So there was this drama fest. So I see same kids taking part in drama and debate and singing. So I hardly remember like seeing like there were hardly like 2 3 kids in my school or in my college who used to like be an active participant in all these events. But here, having said that, I'm seeing majority of the kids take initiative in everything possible, and they are go-getters, as I said, and they really want to make a change. They want to move forward. I'm a part of this group in Mumbai, where we clean beaches weekly. So the majority of the kids there are aged 17 to 20. So that's the youth of today, and I think they are eager to make a change. So they're already on the right path, and I think we need to learn a lot from them.
Yeah, there's a lot of promise for a lot of young people who are doing amazing things.
Mm.
But some of you are on this call, which is why we are very grateful that you have joined us and are here to, motivate and inspire us. So while I have you on the screen, Mihir, maybe starting with the next question from you and then going in the reverse order with the other panelists.
Yeah.
Talking about the future of youth, since that's what you ended with, how do you see the youth of today contributing to shaping a better tomorrow?
As I said, the measures they're taking to clean the beach, and they are actually contributing a lot to the. But you asking me what are the measures they should take?
Yeah, like skills or, what are the maybe unconventional things that they can do and be more mindful of how they are shaping the collective future of India?
I think the problem this generation has is procrastination. My younger brother keeps telling me, like my cousin brother, that there are a lot of distractions in this generation. uh, you have social media, which is a big distraction for everyone in their life, and people start comparing themselves subconsciously, not if not consciously, they do that subconsciously, and it does play a toll in your mind. So I think you time management is really important, be it for any generation, but this generation in specific, because you have a lot to get distracted with. So I think just managing your time and managing a daily routine and not procrastinating is the way to success. But I mean, of course, as you said in the beginning of the seminar, that manifest an action. So action is really important, and वहाँ बहुत लोग चूक जाते हैं. So I think action is really important. You have to take action. You can't just sit and manifest and make New Year resolutions and plans and make a vision board. That won't help unless you take actions towards it. So take actions, reduce your screen time, I would say, and it's as simple as it sounds. Just replace screens with books. Just read. Just start reading. You'll see a growth in your imagination. As actors, we are told to read a lot because it does help in your imagination, and it's an exercise for your brain. So you need to exercise your brain these days a lot. That will make you stronger as a human being and a confident human being when you're speaking to people out there.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. I think reading is what actually helped me in my own journey as well. Like I was mentioning before, I think a lot of that confidence, speaking, imagination, all of that came because of the reading habit I've been able to cultivate and retain as a habit even till this date. So yeah, that's a great advice and a great reminder for New Year resolutions to be more practical instead of just setting them as goals and thinking that the manifestations will work. So moving on then to Vaishali and then Arjun, quick thoughts on what you think the youth of today can do better for tomorrow. Vaishali, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. I think youth have become quite entrepreneurial today, and today it is so much easier to start something and create impact with employment as well as technology. For example, for a product brand, it's easier to start off with just social media or simple website, which wasn't the case earlier. So I can give you example. A very close friend of mine who is a founder of Zor, they're using solar energy batteries to solve problem in rural areas with no access to power. So I feel if we put all our energies at right place in the right age, we can bring changes and join people and planet. Is what like I can pass on the message.
Great. Arjun, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I think first let's start with what this generation has that's better than us, right? So, I mean, a lot of young people who are doing much more than I was doing at their age. So, there is a lot of ambition, a lot of excitement, a lot of access to democratic information, and digital has really closed boundaries, right? So, 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds DM me on Instagram, DM me on LinkedIn, and are so confident and want to connect. And I feel like the ones who are achieving in this generation are 5 years, 10 years ahead of me, right? I think the biggest challenge is impatience or moving from thing to thing too fast. So the worst thing about resumes I see today is 5 job shifts in 5 years, 7 job shifts in 5 years. And the answer that I hear is my learning stopped. And I think that while some of it may be true, a lot of it isn't because uh, everything is snackable now, right? Instagram Reels are snackable, YouTube Shorts are snackable in the countries where TikTok is there. Everything you get in 15, 20, 30 seconds. You get content now. There are new platforms where you're seeing OTT content through reel style format. And while it's good to get information when you're on the go, that in your life to achieve your goals, to think about your career, um, removes a lot of the patience that was required. So I think my best decision was sticking it out for 2.5 or 3 years till I hit product market fit. That may not be that would definitely not have been possible if I gave up in 6 months. Right? And so I think that is something that we need to sort of keep in mind and think of. While there are positives, this is one thing I would imagine.
Yeah, 100% couldn't agree more that, this is exactly what is, the youth should be thinking about. And those who are not thinking about should get inspired from, because that's the entire objective. Like, the more we kind of delve into these kind of conversations and look up to stories of young people who are making it big and successful, like all of you on this call today, I think that's what helps us believe in our own potential in a way and realize that if we have another young person who is doing it at a young age, why can't we? So continuing on that theme then, Arjun, can you tell us maybe from your own experience, what are the top 3 skills that you think are most relevant for young people to master in today's fast-paced world?
I would say that the first one, as I said earlier, would be patience. It's something that they have to pick up from our generation. Uh, so just give me 1 minute.
Vaishali, would you like to fill in
Yeah,
till
sure.
Arjun comes back?
So I think first should be focus because doing many things at a one time should be avoided. Second can be time management because the ability to focus on important tasks or set goals and use their time well is important for balancing work and professional life in a busier world. And the third can be communication. Be able to express yourself clearly and work well with others is what these 3 skills every young person should masters.
Absolutely, which is why we are designing our youth leadership courses to be able to train young people in all of the skills that you just mentioned. So thank you for doing the pitch on my behalf, Vaishali. That's much appreciated. But moving back to Arjun to allow him to
Yeah,
complete with the other.
absolutely. I think the second thing is distraction. With everything that's available around you, I was talking to a group of e-commerce entrepreneurs yesterday and saying that you can't have like you need to have the least number of clicks till checkout because You'll get a WhatsApp call while you're buying something. You'll get a phone call. You'll get a notification on another app. And if you think about our behavior in general, there's so many things around us distracting us that I think being focused and less distraction. And the last thing I would say is uh, taking the right guidance. There's lots of knowledge, some good, some bad, on the internet, on YouTube, on podcasts, on Instagram. But picking the right path and the right knowledge is crucial rather than getting sort of confused or heading down the wrong path. Because I didn't have any of this, right? I had not access to so much information. It was good and it was bad. But picking the right among the plethora of information is crucial today.
100%. Mihir?
I think they've already said they've covered all the points what one needs to succeed in life. But if you ask me top three skills, it would be public speaking. I remember in our school, I'm from Jamshedpur, and in our school, our principal used to take. She is very certain that we had a subject for public speaking, and oh my God, sorry for that. It really helped us so much. I think we never realized at that time. We were like, "Arey, why are they doing this to us? We don't need that one more subject." But now, later in life, in college, like now, just in life, I realize public speaking is just so important. And if not, if you're not an avid reader, if you're not, if you don't have a lot of friends to talk to, just enroll for a public speaking or some personality development class, I must say, where you can just speak your heart out and communicate better. So of course it comes down to communication and public speaking, because your first impression is the last impression no matter what. You have to like be well versed with everything, I think, in this world. I can't think of other two skills. It's just very simple. Just stay focused in life and cut down the crap. As in, you know what's right. Whenever you are about to do something wrong, there is a voice in your head which is telling you, "Ki yaar, ye mat kar. You're wasting your time here." And you know what's right. You know what's wrong. I mean, there's a yin yang in everyone. Positives and negatives. You have to focus on the positives and just move on. It's not some rocket science. It's very simple in life. Just work. You know everything, and just you have to just follow your inner voice.
Yeah, I was just mentioning about our school's public speaking lessons in the earlier session where we were decoding the leading youth, and couldn't agree more. I think that's been a life transforming skill, which I'm very grateful as well, along with you, for our principal and the school who inculcated those essential soft skills, which is where the whole idea of the leading youth has also come from. Like, we have to train the youth of today in these essential skills that all the three of you mentioned, because
Yeah,
I think that's the
they then don't need to enroll for any other class. You can get everything here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm loving how you guys are pitching it for me. This
No,
is
yeah,
extremely helpful, guys.
before we end the session, I just wanted to, or before I drop off at least, I just wanted to say that uh, none of this existed when I was sort of getting into the workforce at the age of 18, 20, 21. And so just kudos to you, Koisha, for putting this together on National Youth Day, for taking out the effort. I know we've been talking about this for the last 2 months, and it's not easy to get people together, especially for something like this. So thank you for what you're doing for yourself, but also what you're doing for the youth and for India. It's the future of our country, and people like you we need much more, we need many more people like you to do this. So thank you so much for taking the effort and the time to do this for our country.
Thank you so much for your kind words, and definitely agree. We need more people. It just can't be me. I've started the initiative, but I need all of your support to keep this going. So thank you. And Arjun, yeah, if you need to go, that's completely fine. We'll just continue with a couple of final questions with the rest of the panel. So a specific question for Mihir, given your career and background in acting. So the entertainment industry is obviously often seen as very glamorous and attractive, but challenging as well, as we all know, and I'm sure you would agree with. So, what mindset and habits have helped you navigate this field successfully?
I think see confidence is the key to everything in whichever field you are in. From the very beginning, when I planned to move to Mumbai for acting, I was very confident that I will get projects as an actor. And yeah, there were. I mean, I did face rejections for the first 2 years, and I still do. I mean, at times when I like some project and I want to be a part of it, someone else gets it. So I think wo chalta rahega, that's a part and parcel of life. But one thing which kept me going was confidence, and I was confident as an actor. So whichever field you are in, if you are pursuing an MBA, or if you are an engineer doing whatever, I think if with hard work comes confidence. When you're working hard on your skill, if you're like really well versed with everything in your field, I think you'll be confident. So being at it and being like training yourself for that particular skill is really important. That will just give you confidence to move further in life, and I think that really helped me because, as I said, I was confident as an actor. So it became easier for me to face rejections. I was like, it's their loss. I used to tell in my mind, it's their loss if they're not giving me this project. It's their loss. They'll regret it later. So that really helped me, that mindset.
Amazing. And that's exactly what, even with jobs for that matter, as people who are transitioning for the first time from academics into career and don't get jobs or are facing rejections with anything in life, I think it's a great way, confidence booster to just say it's their loss and not ours. And
Yeah.
definitely agree with that mantra. I think it helps a lot with boosting your confidence, which is what we need as young people to, continue being resilient in our path. So next question for Vaishali. As a young female entrepreneur in India, what unique challenges have you faced and what message would you give to aspiring young women looking to break into entrepreneurship?
So I think believe in yourself. Confidence is your vision and ability to the foundation of success, because uh, whatever self doubt you have, focus on your strength. That will help you in what you are doing. And like as a woman, I think support other women is what I can strongly pass my message to all other female entrepreneur, because create opportunity and contribute to building a community to empower female entrepreneurs. Because my mommy and my nanny and my mom used to told more women. When I started seeing the challenges, my work become lot more satisfying, and I could see the joy of Joy Spoon in their eyes too. So this is what, like, I think these are the messages which I'll pass on to other women who are like looking for entrepreneurial, or like looking for the journey ahead.
Amazing and so inspiring for a lot of young female or upcoming young entrepreneurs as well who are thinking about this and want to take away some lessons from your journey. So, in the interest of time, we're going to wrap up the panel now with one last question for both you and Mihir. In 30 seconds, could you tell us one piece of advice that you would like to give to your younger self? What would that be and why? Starting with you,
uh,
Vaishali.
Yes, sure. So I think get more and more learnings and experience when you are young and be close to technology. Because like I can give an example of mine. Coming from a small town, we didn't have much exposure back then, because even the resources to learn newer skills as well as new experience. As you told earlier, my co-founder Yash took some amazing exchange program at early age, which gave him a lot of exposure, which I feel every younger self should take. Plus when you are young, you have a lot of free time as compared to a time when you start working. So in this time, learn more and more things which might not relate to your work.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I think it's definitely important to be open to learning, being curious, and giving yourself the chance to grow. Mihir, what are your thoughts to your younger self?
I think something I'll tell my younger self is just believe in yourself and let people say that you won't achieve it. Use that as a fuel, maybe. I mean, I remember a lot of people were against my idea of becoming an actor. Like, "अरे, कुछ नहीं होने वाला. We'll see. And today I'm getting projects. I'm acting. I'm I'm earning through acting. So a lot of people used to say in school, like there were some teachers who didn't believe in me, and I would just say that use that as a fuel, rather than just sitting and crying over that कि अरे उसने ऐसा बोल दिया, इसने ऐसा बोल दिया. कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना, is very well said. So just let people say and actually use that in your benefit. Um, if someone is letting you down, if someone is saying that you can't do this, I think that just gives me more power, immense power. Thank you to those teachers who didn't believe in me, and thank you to my relatives and friends who said that "Tu acting karega." uh, I think it really helped me. Yeah.
Amazing. What an inspiring note to end this fantastic panel session with. Thank you so much, Mihir, Vaishali, and Arjun, for joining us on early in the morning on a Sunday and for sharing your thoughts and journey for National Youth Day. Extremely grateful. I am feeling pumped up, and I'm sure those tuning in. We are also actually live on YouTube, so everyone will have access to the recording even in the future. And I'm sure it's going to be reaching out to a lot of young people internationally as well. So with that, I mean, I don't want to hold you back for any longer. If you want to drop out, you can, or can stay for the rest of the session as well. We have another amazing panel lined up. So thank you, Mihir, Vaishali,
Thank you.
and we'll see you soon again.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So hopefully our audience listening in is still energized and is going to also be pumped up for a very exciting next panel session where we have young change makers from India, a session that promises to be as insightful as it is inspiring. This panel will feature three remarkable individuals. We have with us our first panelist, Manan Singh. Manan is the founder of Young Minds, whose passion for social impact and public policy has led to groundbreaking initiatives. Manan is the founder of a youth-led organization working towards enabling youth as agents of change for their local communities. Manan is a final year student at the Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities with a majors in history, and he is extremely passionate about public policy and social impact. As a child of the development sector, Manan has been volunteering since early childhood. Along with a certified youth educator, he has also been part of fellowship programs like the Millennium Fellowship 2023, Peace Kong Fellowship 2024, and Empowerment for Education 2024. As a student, he has worked in various capacities and has received the Spirit of JSLH Award in 2023 and 2024, along with his work experience at Niti Aayog and at the Office of Member of Parliament in India. He has been published on platforms like Opinion Express and has presented research papers at various conferences. Manan, we are very grateful to have you as part of the panel. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It is my pleasure and wishing everyone a very happy National Youth Day.
Happy National Youth Day to you as well. I'm just going to add the others as panelists. I think they are on the call. Just give me a second. Yeah. Venkatesh and Amrita, I think you should be able to come on camera and speak now. Okay, great. I think I've added you both as panelists now. So I'll quickly introduce our next panelist for the Young Changemakers panel. Venkatesh, again hailing from Jamshedpur, is a luminary in both cinematography and lighting design. He began his remarkable journey as an assistant on Mukbir, the story of Spy, and has since amassed extensive experience contributing his talents to a wide range of projects, including ad films, documentaries, and acclaimed features like The Diplomat and Kansya. His expertise extends to transforming iconic spaces as seen in his work at Hermes House, where light seamlessly complements architecture. Mahati Wellness, where he sculpts every contour, and SK Music Works, where he blends music and light into a captivating sensory experience. Venkatesh's transcendent approach to lighting design transcends convention, leaving an enduring impact on all who encounter his artistry. We're very glad to have you as part of our panel, Venkatesh. A very warm welcome to you.
Thank you, Koisha. Thank you.
Moving on to our next panelist, Amrita Rekhi. Amrita is the founder of Mindful Synergy, and she's going to be talking about her impactful work in youth training and skill development today, which is very akin to our vision with the leading youth. So Amrita is a social sciences and skill development professional with over 5 years of experience in empowering youth through training and education. As the founder of Mindful Synergy, she led impactful initiatives like menstrual hygiene awareness for 2,000 plus girls and their mothers. She's trained over 500 underprivileged young adults on essential employability and leadership skills, equipping them for future success. In her last role as an English language and cultural assistant with the government of Spain, she collaborated with educators to enhance bilingual education and drive measurable improvements in language proficiency of learners. Her dedication to fostering youth development has also led her to publish research and present at national conferences. With her passion for positive social change and an ability to connect deeply with young audiences, Amrita inspires individuals to take charge of their personal and professional growth. So our panel today will be ensuring that we get into a discussion that's going to be power-packed with insights on leadership, creativity, and making a difference for the future of the youth of India. Welcome, Amrita, and welcome to all our panelists once again.
Hi, Koisha.
Amazing. So without further ado, we're going to kick off with the structure for this panel, which is going to be similar to what we did with the last panel. We will start with a few career questions related to your respective careers that you guys are pursuing, as well as the future of youth, the skills that are relevant, and a few thoughts on what your journey has been like. And I'm sure that's going to be an inspiring takeaway for a lot of young people who are tuning into this conversation today. So starting with the first question, which is going to be about the future of the youth of India on the occasion of National Youth Day, for which we are here today. What role do young change makers like yourselves play in shaping the future of India? I have Amrita on my screen, so let's start with Amrita, and then we'll move on to Manan and then Venkatesh.
Okay. So I think young change makers play a crucial role in shaping the future of India. And I think one of the very important things that I see is happening is we are driving social innovation. We are bringing fresh perspectives to problems that have been around for centuries. But we are, I think, using age appropriate strategies using technology and making these solutions accessible to the masses. And and I think this is where impact really hits you, because when you take an initiative, I think it's only impactful if it's accessible. And another important thing is, I think, like some of us who end up going abroad and representing our country and getting that global exposure, that also plays a crucial role. And I think that's what's taking us forward.
Absolutely. And that's, again, something that, we're trying to promote with the leading youth as well, taking the youth of India to global locations where they get that global exposure, build on their ideas, interact with local mentors in locations like Singapore, London, etc., and then bring those ideas back and, build something of their own. So yeah, I couldn't agree more with everything that you said. So moving on to our next panelist, Manan, to share your thoughts.
Young change makers and how they can create an impact. I think I'll just add on to what Amrita just said, is the approach that young people will look at things around them. And when we say that we are the youngest, that the planet has the highest number of young people it has ever had, it is upon them that how they wish to frame not only the tomorrow but even the today, and how they're approaching things, either not only problems but even the new innovations they're bringing. That is what will shape the world, and I think that is the contribution of young people in impacting and forming the world they want to see. So, however, they will be approaching the problems surely, but even the new innovations they bring in and the challenges they face and the society that they create and the mindset that they build in the society. So, the influence these young people will have, I think all young people end up coming together, that is how a new society or a different kind of a society will be built, and that is the influence or the impact of young change makers in the present world.
Absolutely. I think very well said and couldn't agree more with that. Thank you, Manan. Venkatesh, would you like to share your thoughts?
Yes, so I can't agree more with Manan and Amrita, but so we do have a very big responsibility on us on what we are doing, because the next generation is kind of looking up to us, and they are following what we are kind of exploring. So I keep watching Shark Tank India now, like whenever I can. So I see these young entrepreneurs coming and kind of putting out their problems, which maybe many of us have thought but have never kind of taken initiative. And they're doing such good work. And I feel the next generation is kind of looking up to them and kind of thinking that, oh, this is also something which we can do. So I think with the internet and with how everything is accessible today, I think the youth has a lot of things to take away from this.
100%. And I think, like all of you have mentioned, it's these inspiring stories that we need to continue telling, these kind of discussions that we need to continue delving in, because that's how more young people are going to be able to find this relatable, draw inspiration from, and hopefully make some positive changes in their lives as well so that they can go on to pursue their goals. So moving on to our next question for the panel. While we have Venkatesh on the screen, let's start with you and then go in the reverse order with the rest of the panel. So there's a lot of things that we are trying to do in our respective careers. We are all young, ambitious, full of energy, and we want to be able to do many things simultaneously. So the question is, how do you balance continuous learning with the demands of your respective professions?
I think you have to be little, the time management is one thing which you have to be very careful about. So for me also, like I do two things at the same time. I am also into cinematography, and I also have this business where it's also a demanding task. But the good thing is that both of them is kind of bridged together, because cinematography, where I do lighting on sets, and I have kind of taken that part into lighting up homes and offices of people. So I think the relativity part of it, I still enjoy doing both of it, but sometimes the time management is very big thing. So it gets really challenging at times where if I'm shooting something, then it kind of consumes my entire day. On the other hand, if there's some site going on the other side, it will also kind of demand that I should give time there also. So time management is something which I have to be very focused about.
Couldn't agree more. I think time management is such an essential skill for young people to learn or practice, I think, more than learning as well. And that's one of the things that, we are offering as well as part of the Leading Youth's soft skills courses. So here am I pitching again what we are doing for those who are still listening in. But moving on then to Manan, what are your thoughts on how do you balance everything that you're doing? Because you are involved in a lot of different activities, and it's amazing how you guys have the energy to also be successful in every little thing that you put your mind and effort to. So yes, tell us your secrets. How do you go about it?
The primary question you asked was how do we manage learning with all the things we do in life. And my response to that would be, along with time management, learn from everything that you do and everywhere you are, right? Because everything around you, if you observe people, if you observe things, if you observe situation, that observing in itself is such an insightful experience. And there's also famous quote, right? That a conversation with a person is like reading 100 books. So interact with people and observe. So my key to learning has been observing. And then obviously, whenever you get time, you can do courses and read books and all of that. Certainly has a part to play. In school, for anyone who is in school and college, do pay attention to classes if you want to learn. Very important. But for time management, something that has really helped me is prioritization as per the need of the hour. So whatever that needs to be done first, whichever task has to be completed at the earliest, prioritize that first. And building a prioritization list and then taking it off. I think ticking off your priority list also gives a lot of satisfaction. So build a priority list and definitely, as Venkatesh said, manage your time in a way that you are able to complete the tasks at hand.
Yeah, fantastic. Amrita, what are your thoughts?
Definitely, I agree with both of them. It's very challenging to be multitasking. I have multitasked big time in the last few years, so I know the drill. I think after COVID, when now we have access to so much virtually, like when Harvard took out courses, you know what? You don't have to come to a school, do it online. And all these certifications that Google has, you can do so much online. When you have time, when you have a lean quarter, just sign up for something. Do these small things or listen to a constructive podcast. Like exhibit growth mindset in your day-to-day activities, in your day-to-day life, instead of, oh my God, I need to do a whole degree. Maybe do a small certification that will help you go up the ladder sooner, or listen to something constructive, watch a good interview. I think these things also help you grow. And I also want to add on to what Manan said, like learn from your surroundings, learn from other people's mistakes, like do these small things in your day to day, which also contribute to learning, which I think people don't talk about. And then you can make informed decisions and multitask better, plan it better so that it's more fruitful.
100%. I think, it's so essential to be able to be a better planner, be more organized. There's already a lot of distractions with social media. We all have drifting attention spans, but how do you actually find time for making space for that learning is really important for progression. And completely agree. I think short certifications, it's something even I have done. So even when I was in my full-time job pursuing my startup on the side, I still found time to do a creative writing course with Oxford University in the UK. And I totally did not have to do that. But because it was in my interest and I wanted to develop writing, getting into the writing space, I did that and I loved it. And, it's that thing, like when you actually enjoy something and you're interested in it, you will find time for it. You will become a better planner, organizer, and make sure that you are continuously learning and developing different skill sets, and which is where I think, whatever you guys mentioned is so relevant and important. And I think continuing also on that theme, then I think, if you could share what are maybe the top 3 skills that every young person should cultivate to excel in today's world. It could be from your own journey, or maybe also what is it that you think could be those futuristic skill sets that is something that young people can invest in when it comes to their learning and growth?
Personally, I think critical thinking, exhibiting growth mindset, and finally, I think communication skills take you places, and just the art of articulating, an idea and making it digestible to different audiences, going down to the level, be it if you may be talking to a 10-year-old, 15-year-old, 80-year-old, making sure that your target audience really understands what you're trying to say. So good communication skills definitely is the key, and growth mindset for sure, and critical thinking.
Amazing. Venkatesh, would you like to go next? What are your top three skills?
I think so personally, like if I have to look back how I was earlier, so PR and marketing for yourself is very important, I feel. Uh, Initially, when I was kind of started working as a cinematographer, or like when I was assisting, I always had this problem that I was not able to communicate in the sense ki what all I can do or what all things I am capable of. But I also see my other friends who are like so smart that they will kind of come in and they will pitch in there like, oh, they can do this by like in this different way. They can treat the project in a different way. So those things kind of really helped me to uh, see. And then I started doing that slowly, and that kind of gave me confidence. Oh, it's not that difficult to kind of speak to people and kind of put your mind out there. So PR and marketing of yourself is very important. Then second would be kind of looking for knowledge, right knowledge, I feel. You should not blindly trust everything what you see around. You should kind of invest a bit of time in that. And then kind of first understand if what you're looking at is right or wrong. And because I have seen a lot of these young kids who kind of go through internet and watch any video on YouTube and they believe that it is the right knowledge. I feel uh, the idea or maybe the judgment where what you're learning from and from whom, it's very important. And apart from that, I feel you have to be committed a bit, because I am seeing this younger generation what they don't tend to kind of stick longer. So they have this habit of changing goals every year or every 2 years, because they feel that they have they're not interested anymore, or they're feeling that they can't go very far in that particular career what they had chosen earlier. So I feel these are the three things which they should be really focused at, according to me, because I somewhere kind of relate to these things. Yeah.
Fantastic. And I think there's, yeah, always these skills that come out from our own learnings and experiences that we realize we could have changed about our past or for our younger self. So yeah, that's obviously, really important for the youth of today. Manan, what are your thoughts? What do you think youth can do better or are relevant in terms of skills?
My top two skills is to be first to be problem solving, because be it professionally or personally, problems are not the end of the road, but just an obstacle, or not even an obstacle, but a challenge that may come in your. And having the mindset that, oh, I have a problem, it is solvable, and then you find a way how to solve it. So that kind of mindset, so problem solving mindset, I would say. Second would be confidence, because when selling or marketing yourself, your skills, or communicating with people effectively, confidence has a very big role to play in it. So one has to be confident, and that confidence in yourself then allows you also to take risks and take that challenges, and sometimes even dream for things which you at that moment you be thinking that, oh, it might not be possible. But if you have the confidence that yes, I can do it, and yes, it is possible, so you end up putting your work into it and building your way through things and achieving your goals. And third thing, I would actually combine, though they are two very different things, but I would say patience and empathy. And this is both on the inwards and outwards. So be patient, not only with the things you're doing and the result. They are already put in the work, but not only be patient for the result, but also know that things take time, but they do happen. And when I say empathy, empathy not only with the outside world, but also with you, that you need to empathize with your situation and with yourself as well. You cannot working 24/7 into 365. You need to give yourself the adequate rest, manage your time in a way that you are giving time to yourself, your personal life and your professional life. So empathy is I think something that goes both ways and need to be understood and then imbibed into daily life.
Fantastic. And so I think, in summary, what's coming out as the top skills from everything that you three mentioned is definitely communication. And I think that's something that I have struggled with as well growing up, and maybe not being aware or not having access to the right resources for upskilling or getting that confidence in being a better communicator. And I think the global exposure, like Amrita mentioned, also helps there, because I think once you step out, you get to interact with different cultures, and that also kind of polishes, not just from a language perspective, but understanding how different cultures work. Where Manan's point on empathy also comes into play, because when you let yourself open to those diverse cultures or perspectives as well, that's when you develop the quality of empathy and being able to be a better leader in whichever career we pursue, which is also something that Venkatesh was mentioning. So, yeah, essentially, this is exactly what are the courses that we are building as part of the Leading Youth as well. And I promise to all the listeners, this is not a paid promotion. It's just a coincidence that all our panelists happen to be mentioning about everything that we are offering as part of our courses, whether that's decision making, critical thinking, empathy, communication. We have a power packed 10 soft skills program as part of the Leading Youth. So please help us spread the word, and we want to be able to train, upskill, and reach out to as many young people as possible with these skill sets that we have found to be relevant and important in our own journey, and hopefully help all of the young people that follow suit. So Manan, while I have you on the screen, I'm going to have a specific question for you and the work that you have been involved with, as well as you are specializing in as a student yourself. So, as I mentioned in your introduction, that you've been deeply involved in public policy and social impact initiatives. So, what advice do you have for young change makers who want to influence policies or drive change in their local communities?
So to my very first advice would be, or suggestion I would say would be that be as open as possible and don't enter the field with presumptions and assumptions about what you are going to. So both in policy and in impact, when you are trying to work with a certain number of people, with a population, or be it small or big, there might be certain things you might presume about their behavior, their needs. Uh, you might Google search, your research might say something, your secondary research might say something, but always try to understand the people you are trying to work with. And that becomes very important both for policy and for someone who's wanting to work in the social impact field. Because at the end, both the sectors or both spaces are wanting to work for the people and wanting to impact people's lives. So, in order to do that, you cannot impact them the way you want to impact, but it has to be the impact they want to see in their lives and that they require. And my second quick point that would be that no impact is permanent. Even if you impact the life of one person, is an impact that you have created. And I've said this at several times. I think in our previous conversation also I mentioned this. So even if you want to make even if you are working with a small population and trying to make an impact in that small population, don't in this period of social media where people on Instagram and LinkedIn might be posting, oh, we are working with 1 lakh people, or we have 20 million followers. All of that might be as great as that may be, but even if you are impacting a smaller population, remember that's the chain reaction. If you work with 20 people, they have families which will have 5 more people. Their next generations, those learnings that you or that impact that you have created in those 20 people's lives will be transferred into the next generation, and that chain reaction will also bring in a larger impact. So never hesitate from creating a small impact. And if you think you have the ability to do it, go ahead and do it. But make the impact that the people want to see, not the one that you think they want to see. Sometimes that may be different.
That's beautifully said, and completely agree that every change starts small. Every drop counts towards building that bigger ocean. So every little effort that we take to bring about a change at a micro level ultimately cumulatively adds on to bring a macro level impact as well eventually with time and with the patience as well, which is a skill that one of our former panelists in the previous session was mentioning. I think having the patience as young people while balancing it with our ambition is really important, because I think ambition sometimes can make us feel like, oh, we want to get results instantly, and we want to see like impact happening all over the world instantly. But obviously that's not how reality works. So maintaining that balance while creating an impact in your local communities and taking it one step at a time, that you said, Manan, is really important. So moving on to our next panelist, Amrita. So you have worked very closely with underprivileged youth, empowering them with essential skill sets. So what strategies would you recommend for young people to give back to their communities?
I think young people can give back to their communities in very easy ways. Of course, there is the whole conventional approach that you can take out time to volunteer, do all of those things, but you can actually give back to your community by just transferring whatever you've learned. Say maybe a skill that you have acquired, pass on that skill. Start your podcast, talk about an issue, start an Instagram campaign or a YouTube channel, and maybe teach a skill that you have learned, be it public speaking, be it a language or coding or anything. Something that you are doing, Koisha. I think this is how you give back to your community. This is a way to give back to your community as well. Like everything that you've learned from your experience globally in India, growing up, like just making sure that it's accessible to the masses. It's a beautiful way to give back, and it can be done in small ways. Also, I feel another thing we need to do more is share your journey, share your stories, not just success, but talk about your challenges. Even if you fail, talk about that, because then that makes it relatable for the others who are thinking of trying or are in the process of trying. And I think, if you have a chance, mentor someone, it could be anyone. It could be a junior from your university or school, or maybe your house helps kids, anything, it does not matter. Or um, if you feel very passionate about a cause, but like giving back to your community can be very easy. You just have to want to be able to put yourself out there.
Absolutely. I think giving yourself that opportunity and the chance to go out there and do something and make a difference is where the first step lies, to raise your foot and take it to that direction. And yeah, like you said, it can start as something as simple as maybe penning down your own story if you're comfortable with just journaling it, writing in a book, or going in the creative content space where, we have platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, etc., where people are sharing about their stories and journeys. There's lots of different ways to be creative and innovative about how we are sharing our stories. And that's something, also another of the avenues that we are or have been exploring with the Leading Youth, is sharing the stories of young leaders who are doing amazing things in different professions, so that their stories inspire a lot of young people who want to be either aspiring entrepreneurs or aspiring artists in whichever field. So I think, the storytelling and sharing is really important to build that community of young people who can relate to each other and learn from each other. So moving on then to our next panelist, Venkatesh, before we wrap up this panel with a rapid fire round. So Venkatesh, your work blends creativity with technical expertise. So how do you think creative fields like cinematography and lighting design can inspire youth to think differently and pursue unconventional career paths? Oh, you're on mute, sorry.
Sorry. So yeah, so it's very different field altogether, cinematography, and it's an extension what I have been doing as a lighting consultant to the same kind of field. But as a cinematographer, you have a lot of responsibility also, like what kind of frames you're shooting or what kind of image you're making with the help of the director, obviously. But it kind of does give out a lot, a bigger impact. Like sometimes you're watching a film and then suddenly you notice that, oh, this particular frame is kind of speaking to you, or uh, kind of uh, sh- kind of going deeper than what's on screen. So it does kind of come as you have to be very careful on what you're showing on the screen. So that's where you have to be knowledgeable, and also I think you have to be more aware of what can create a bigger impact. And you know how this field works. Like if you show something very basic, in your mind you feel like, oh, nothing will happen, but tomorrow you see there's a very big argument happening, or there's a literally rally coming out of nowhere where people are criticizing that, oh, you should have not done this, you should have not done that. So you have to be very careful on what you are putting out there. I think uh, how younger people should see this is also because nowadays, when Instagram is such a big thing, everybody is literally vlogging and everybody is literally kind of making reels. And I see a lot of times people don't have that kind of filter, or uh, they don't think what they're putting out there. I think they should be a little more cautious about it, because sometimes you are trying to reach out to a very small or niche audience, or what, like a certain people will only relate to that content. But there are people who will get affected by it. So be very cautious about it, what you're putting out there. And uh, technically, if I have to say, you have to be very open to learn new things. Like cinematography is very demanding, and with growing tech every day, you have to be very careful on what are the new things which is coming out. You have to kind of knowledge your kind of uh, make yourself aware that you have to know about this particular technology, and then kind of also be able to use that technology in your work. A lot of times what happens is people, like I've seen these younger kids who kind of only see uh, from the overview part of it, and they don't really get what that particular tech will kind of create complications, or they try to pitch in that, and in the end they fail, and then it becomes a bigger problem. So technology, yes, it's very fascinating, but you have to be very careful. You have to be very careful what you're doing with it. So yeah.
Couldn't agree more. I think there's lots of, obviously, the good parts of sharing your stories on social media, etc. But there's also a lot of mindless content. So filtering out what doesn't make sense and doesn't resonate with your personal goals or vision is also something that we should be mindful of as young people, because time is a precious resource, and we should be judiciously using it to the best of our capacities instead of just numberlessly scrolling through social media, which I think a lot of us end up being victims of. But there's always a new day to be better at it and improve ourselves on that front. But yeah, I think with that, we're going to do a quick rapid fire round with each of our panelists. So I'll direct one question to each panelist instead of repeating the same question for all, so that we can make this quick and rapid as it should be. So Venkatesh, while I have you on the screen, the first question will be directed to you, because given that you're in the field of directing, and you've been associated with so many films and documentaries, what is that one book or resource every young person must read as per you?
I am not a very avid reader, to be honest. I have been
book or movie, whatever you want to suggest.
I think off lately, Manjumal Boys is something which I've been really kind of fascinated by. The way they have put the story out there. You should really not give up, and you are kind of helping your friends and that community. How they have portrayed that in the film. I think that one film is kind of very inspiring also. And also then the 12th Fail recently, which came out, that also is very good.
I agree. Yes, I think that's been a national favorite and very motivating for young people. So 100% recommend 12th Fail as well. Fantastic. So Manan, you are next on my screen, and the question for you in this rapid fire round would be a quote or mantra that keeps you motivated.
Quote or mantra that I can keep me motivated would be one line, that it is possible. And there are various quotes of Swami Vivekananda also that I might be able to bring in, as Arise Awake, and it is possible. But something that I keep telling myself, and it is a lot of learning from reading Swami Vivekananda and a lot of other leaders, is one line that yes, it is possible. And dream, that is what has allowed me to dream. And every time I dream, I manifest, I say, yes, it is possible. But while I say that, what I also keep in mind is that I need to put in the work for it. So I think that is my mantra. And remembering that there is nothing that is impossible. I think the word impossible says, I am possible. So that is the mantra.
Fantastic. Absolutely love that. And it's such a great reminder that, impossible reads as I am possible. Very encouraging, I think, for all young people who are dreaming big and wanting to do something different in life. I hope this has motivated you on a Sunday morning to hop out of your bed and action your goals. So Amrita, next question for you on the rapid fire round. One change you want to see in India's youth ecosystem by 2030. So 5 years from now.
I think one significant change that I'd like to see is widespread adoption of mental health awareness and well-being. And I wanted to be a part of, an integral part of education and daily life. So that by 2030, we have a youth which is resilient, and if they need help, if they need support, they have access to it. There is proper education about these things, about stress management, emotional intelligence, so that we have all the assistance to go out and make the change and drive India where it should be, because we are the world's youngest population. So we need to do more for the youth and make sure that they have all the support they need to thrive.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree more that, this is the need of the hour, and this is the time we should be thinking about our future as the youth of India, and not when we are worn out and jaded. And this is a quote by Swami Vivekananda, by the way, and, we're celebrating National Youth Day in the memory of his birth anniversary. So felt all the more relevant to mention it, which is why. And that brings us to the end of the rapid fire round, but I would really like to end with one final takeaway from each of our panelists before we close this panel session and move on to the end of the event. So while I have you on the screen, Amrita, what is one message or piece of advice you would like to leave with the youth watching today in 30 seconds?
One piece of advice: be stubborn with your goals, be stubborn with your vision, be adaptable on how you're going to get there, but be stubborn with your goal and don't give up till you get what you want, be it the lifestyle, your job, whatever.
Fantastic. Moving on to Venkatesh, your quick thoughts on advice.
I think they have to be little more cautious about what they are streaming, and be little open to kind of speak to people more. I think I have noticing this habit of always being on the phone, and they don't really kind of gel in with each other. I think you guys need to kind of build a community around you, because that I sometimes feel like that is dropping somewhere. People are not kind of interacting the way we used to do, like when we were kids. That is one thing which they should kind of look into.
Brilliant. Manan, your quick thoughts?
Say that it is a process. My takeaways from, or the takeaway that I would like to leave with be, it is a process. And as we also say in history, that anything that occurs does not happen in a week. It is not just suddenly abrupt. There are a series of things that have occurred. There's a process that has taken place which has led up to what has actually occurred. So believe in that process and work for that process, because if you are thinking that you have imagined, so I'll give it with an example. If you think that I want to achieve 100 on 100 in a subject, it will not happen instantly. There's a process that you need. So build a process, work in a process, and while you are in the journey of, uh, while you are in that journey, don't not only focus on the happiness that the destination might give you, but also enjoy the process and enjoy the moment you are in. So as much as you think about the future, be in the moment, cherish the moment, and live the moment. So being in the moment and understanding that it's a process, things take time, and you need to be patient with.
What a beautiful way to end this panel discussion with so much hope and optimism. And the beauty in our journeys as young leaders is, the core theme that stood out for me in this panel is that we all are going to have unique paths, whether that's with our career, professionally, personally. But what matters at the end of it all is having that faith in yourself as a young person to recognize your abilities, your potential, and to understand that you have the power in your own hands to make a difference, whether that's at a community level or in your own family, or if you want to take it large scale with the country or global. It all starts from taking that first step towards your goal, and the rest of it is, the effort that you put in, the action that you take, and make your goals a reality, and also enjoy the process while you are at it, like Manan has just beautifully summarized for us. So, with that, I would just like to convey my gratitude to each of the panelists. Thank you so much, Manan, Venkatesh, and Amrita, for your time today and for joining in bright and early on a Sunday morning. I'm going to keep saying that every time because I know it's a Sunday morning and we are having this session really early. But absolutely appreciate all of your genuine support and care for recognizing the theme for today, which is National Youth Day. I think it's all of our collective onus as young people to be able to stand for the vision that we have towards the goals that we are all working towards, respectively in our own ways. So everything that you've shared today, every word that you've mentioned is really helpful. It has motivated me, and I'm sure it has for everyone tuning in. We are also recording this live on YouTube. So this is going to stay with a lot more people who are going to be watching this in future as well. So thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a fantastic day ahead and an even brighter future. So good luck with each of your, parts as well. And I hope you continue excelling in everything that you do. And happy National Youth Day. I would request everyone to please stay on the call. We're going to quickly wrap up the event, but before we wrap up, I did promise at the beginning of the session today that we're going to be announcing the winners of our national competition. So if you remember, we have launched a week back a national competition to recognize on the day of National Youth Day, inspiring stories of young people or new ideas of how you would like to see the youth of India shaping their future. And I'm very happy to announce that we have a winner. We've received some amazing submissions, and it's been a competitive process, but we unfortunately only have one winner to choose. And I'm going to make the announcement now. So thank you so much for those who have stuck around on the call to listen to this announcement of the winner. I'm happy to announce Anshara Jahan as our winner for the national competition and for sharing her story as part of the Young Leaders Fellowship Program. Anshara, I think your story was beautiful. Thank you so much for posting it on LinkedIn and for tagging us. It's been absolutely motivating reading your journey and your experience with everything that you have shared. And like you have mentioned, it's not just about you qualifying for that fellowship, but it's way more than that, to actually work with the young school and the children to understand their turmoil, recognize the importance of mental health and how that impacts all of us. And that's something that should be discussed more openly, and to have that support system where everyone feels like they have someone they can share their thoughts with and feel more empowered and encouraged. So I think your post definitely highlights the importance of something that is quite relevant to all of us today. So thank you so much for sharing your story and for taking the initiative, for being brave enough to share your story on the platform. And this is exactly what we need to motivate all young people who will be, taking away lessons from your story. So congratulations. You are the winner of our national competition. And like we have promised, you're going to be receiving a crosswords gift voucher worth rupees 2,000, as well as a feature on the Leading Youth's official social media platforms, including an exclusive mentorship session with one of our celebrity young panelists that we had earlier today. And of course, we will also send a certificate of recognition your way for the initiative and wonderful impact that you've created in your journey. So congratulations once again, Anshara. Well done. All right. So with that, we're going to be closing our National Youth Day event today. I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who made it here today and who will be tuning into this conversation in future as well through the recording that will be available on YouTube later. As we come to the end of this incredible day, I want to take a moment to reflect on the essence of National Youth Day and the theme that we have had today, awakening the power of the innate potential within us. Today, we've heard stories of courage, passion, and relentless determination. We have learned that leadership isn't just about taking charge, it's about inspiring others to dream bigger, aim higher, and work harder. Each of you has the potential to be a change maker, to impact your community, and to shape the future of our country. On behalf of the Leading Youth, I thank all of our speakers, panelists, and participants for making this event truly special. To the youth of India, you are the heartbeat of this nation, and the world is waiting for you to lead with purpose and passion. Thank you so much to also the Leading Youth team for being on their toes with all the marketing. Special thanks to Irini, Parisha for spreading the word through their networks and social media campaigns. Thank you so much to Prateek as well for his relentless support. It's been absolutely phenomenal working on this event behind the scenes for the last couple of months or so, planning every bit of it. So thank you so much for being on board on this journey. And obviously, we have a long way to go ahead, lots of more events to do, lots of more things to do to reach out to our young audience in India as well as globally. So let's move forward with optimism, courage, and a deep sense of responsibility to create a brighter tomorrow. Thank you, and wishing you all a very happy National Youth Day. Bye all.